What's going on, guys? Josh here with Adventure Finders for the second episode of the Sunday Sit Down. Today is May 27th. We are focusing on this week, don't just exist, find your purpose. Finding your purpose means finding what God has called you to do. Not what you think you're supposed to do in life, not what you want to do in life, but what God wants you to do in life. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But right now we're going to talk about 3 questions that everyone asks, from sinners to churchgoers and everything in between. And the first thing is, where did I come from? The second one is, why am I here? And the third is, where am I going? Now, the first and the third question are the easy ones. Anyone who's been in church at all and heard a sermon at all should know the answer to those questions. The first one, where did I come from? Anybody who's heard a sermon should know that we come from God, that God created us in His image. And the third one is, where am I going? You should know that if you are a Christian, you're going to heaven, and if not, you're going to hell. And if you're in a church that's not preaching that stuff, bad news is you need to find a new church, because you're not going to get what you need out of that church, and they're not teaching you the right thing, and they'll have to deal with God on that later. But the second one is what we're going to focus about. Why am I here? What is the reason I was created? Well, the reason you were created is because God has a specific purpose for you. He has a specific plan for you. Now, that could be a numerous amount of things. It could be a missionary. It could be a youth leader. It could be a music director. It could be a street ministry. It could be sweeping the floors at your church. You know, that's not one that a lot of people like to think about, because no one wants to be the guy or girl that sweeps at church, and that's all they do, and that's their job for the kingdom. We all want to have some big role, but maybe God didn't make you for that big role. Maybe He made you for that tiny part of the church that if it wasn't for someone doing that, then the church wouldn't be clean and people wouldn't come, and it would distract people from God. You know, sweeping, while we think could be meaningless, could be the difference between a soul getting saved because they were able to pay attention to what the preacher was saying and not how the church looked. Now, God has made us all with a special purpose. And while I was preparing for this, I was looking and found a YouTube video by a guy that I'm subscribed to called That Bold Life. Link him right over here. And I've talked with him a little bit. I hope that maybe as this series evolves, maybe me and him can do something together, or me and another YouTuber or something like that would be pretty cool. Maybe a tag team sermon or something. But he's a really cool guy, makes really good videos, great content. I encourage you to go check out his videos, because he has covered a lot of subjects, because he has done a lot more videos of this style than I have. But the video was him reading God Made You Special. And it's a VeggieTales book that they bought for his daughter. And he read a little bit of the book, and I don't have the book in front of me, so I don't know word for word what it says. But like the title says, God made you special. He made you for that special purpose, for that reason that only you possibly can do, because of the things that you go through and the things that you've seen in your life. Like I asked earlier, What is your purpose? Is it what God wants, or is it what you want? What you think you're supposed to do? Well, a great example of that, to answer that question, is Acts chapter 9, verse 1 through 19. If you haven't read the book of Acts, I encourage you to go read it. It is a very good book and tells a great deal of information. But in those verses in chapter 9, it talks about a man named Saul, who was a killer, a man who hunted down Christians to kill them. Because if they made too much of a fuss and made too many people think that the Jewish laws were wrong, then they were going to have to be gotten rid of. So Saul would hunt these people down, and while he was hunting someone down on the road to Damascus, a bright light shone down from the heavens, knocked him off his horse, and blinded him. And a voice said, "Saul, what are you doing to me?" Basically, he asked, "Who is this? What do you want?" And in that moment, God told him to stop killing my people, because now you're one of them. I have a calling for you. I have a purpose for you, and you are going to fulfill it. Now, that purpose is very evident throughout the book of Acts, and a lot of the other books as well, because Paul wrote a lot of books. But Paul became one of the, if not the biggest person to bring other people into the fold and bring Christianity on the map. Because when this happened, there weren't a lot of Christians, probably less than 500 of them, because I believe the experience in the upper room was before this happened. I could be wrong though, but less than 500 people that are Christians, enough people that an army could easily wipe out and put an end to Christianity. But because Saul became Paul, in that instant God changed his name, gave him a new identity, and switched his purpose completely around, from being a man who killed Christians to being a man that found Christians and made the Christian faith stronger. So, you know, a lot of times God will take what you already do and make that your purpose, because someone who's always had an interest in music may have a part in music. They may be able to be a music director or a recording studio or something along those lines. God, I think, works with what you like doing. Now I want you guys to be able to connect with me like this is real. I want, like, you see me face to face daily. I want you guys to know me and experience my life. So I want to talk about what I feel like my purpose is. Now, God hasn't affirmed this for me 100%, but I feel like my purpose is youth. I want to be able to minister to youth, whether it be in a church or through this video series or whatever it may be. That's why I'm excited for this series, because it gives me the ability to do things that I couldn't do. I can't reach people in California from a church here in Kentucky or Alabama or Tennessee or wherever I end up. I can't reach people in Kentucky from a place that is stationary. But these videos can go to California, to China, to Israel, Australia, Africa, all over the world. These videos can go. And that's exciting. That is so, in a way it's humbling. In a way it makes you feel small, but at the same time it makes you feel like you have this huge potential. But your purpose is out there. You've got to wait. That's not easy to do because I'm not good at it myself. I want to know what the plan is before I step off the ledge into God's plan. I want to know what I'm stepping into. I want to be able to prepare myself. But the truth is, God is preparing you as you make that descent, as you take that step into whatever His plan is. He will prepare you. I hope the series is helping you guys out. I hope you're enjoying it. But we're not going to end a single episode without giving someone on the other side of that computer screen or phone or whatever you're watching this video on an opportunity to accept Christ. So if you will, repeat after me if you need to be saved. Dear God, help me to become the person that you want me to be. Help me to become that warrior that you want me to be. God, come into my heart and save my soul. Help me to find my purpose. Help me to understand that I don't have to understand where it is you're taking me and what it is you're guiding me to do. I just have to be willing to take the step and to go in on faith, and that you will equip me to be who I need to be. Alright guys, again, I hope you're enjoying this series. I know I am enjoying recording it. I enjoy finding a location to do it. I enjoy the filming of it. I hope that somehow, wherever you're at, whoever you are, that you accepted Christ today, that you prayed that prayer with me, and that you were serious about it and you meant it in your heart. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next Sunday for the next episode of the Sunday Sit Down.